Ghoul update for Fallout 76 is finally here, and with it brings a host of new features that allows players to journey through the wasteland in a whole new way, allowing you for the first time in the 76 life cycle to transform from being a human into a ghoul. However, as refreshing as it is to see features like this come to the game, it does come with its own drawbacks, and in today's video I'll be giving you my honest opinion and review on the update, and give you a bit of an insight on whether or not it's worth your time in leaving your smooth skin days in the past and embracing the glow. The first question a lot of people will have is, how do I become a ghoul? Well, it's quite simple really. You'll first need to have your player character level at level 50, which will then unlock the new questline, Leap of Faith. The quest itself is a pretty short questline, however it will require you to travel north of the Savage Divide, where you'll meet characters who will aid in your transformation. To avoid any spoilers, I won't be going into detail with the questline, as I'll leave that to yourself to discover. However, once you've completed the quest, here you'll be given the choice on whether or not you want to remain in your human form or take the plunge and embrace the new Ghoul exclusive abilities, as well as giving you access to 30 new Ghoul exclusive perks, which we'll touch on very shortly. Now, for those who are new to the game, or if you're deciding that you want to start a brand new character dedicated specifically to being a ghoul, upon leaving the vault, you will need to work your way up to level 50 before you can unlock the new questline. However, rest assured, there are a few ways you can help accelerate your XP progression to get you on your way to your ghoulish lifestyle. Firstly, upon leaving the vault, you can instantly increase your character up to level 25 via the pre-made build options that Bethesda implemented a year or two ago, which will only get you halfway there. But don't worry, there's plenty of quests, public events, and other ways to get your character to level 50 pretty quickly, and of course, depending on time constraints. But don't worry, Bethesda have come to your aid to assist you with your time constraint issues. That's right, for the reasonable price of roughly €15 or $15 or whatever the equivalent is in your country, you can boost your character all the way up to level 50. Now, you can probably hear a subtle taste of sarcasm in there, and to be honest, that's for good reason. Personally, I'm not a fan of this kind of pay-to-win style of feature, and I mean, what are we really paying to win here? But this right here is totally ridiculous, and a feature that opens the gates to a very slippery slope of other cash-grabby features. And I know a lot of people will probably agree with me on this one, and to be honest, this video could go on for another 10 minutes of me explaining why this is ridiculous, but this boosts your character up to level 50 instantly for the price of €15 or dollars or whatever is definitely taking the cash grabby biscuit. Now, don't get me wrong, I probably sound a bit hypocritical criticizing something like this, while all the while each week I promote the Atomic Shop and I'm also a subscriber to Fallout First. But when you already have a feature in the game that boosts your character all the way up to level 25, and then you're dangling the carrot in front of people to pay another $15 to go another 25 levels, just doesn't sit right with me. As I said, I'm giving you my honest opinion on this update, and I would rather see this game thrive from the incredible work done on the content that's released, rather than sneaking in pushy microtransaction features like this. But let's face it, there's nothing micro about $15. But to each is their own, as you're not obliged to go down this route, you have the free will to leave the vault and work your way up to the level 50 requirement. And as I mentioned, there are multiple ways to get your character quite easily up to level 50. But do let me know your thoughts on this one down below in the comments. Upon becoming a ghoul, you might be a bit horrified to see your skin melting away from your face, but don't worry, as ugly as you might appear, it's what's inside that counts. And with that being said, you'll be happy to hear that becoming a ghoul will grant you with 2 new abilities, such as Feral and Glow. The new Feral meter will drain over time and can only be filled back up by consuming chems, and depending on how full or low your meter is, will provide different bonuses and penalties. While your meter is above 80%, you'll gain +3 strength, +3 endurance, and +30 max HP. When above 60%, you'll gain +15 max HP. Above 40%, you'll lose -1 endurance and -5 max HP. Above 20%, you'll lose -3 endurance, -15 max HP, and then -10 max AP. And finally, while at 0%, you'll gain +150 melee damage and lose -5 endurance, -99 charisma, -30 max HP, -20 max AP, -300% hip fire gun accuracy, and also VATS accuracy. Now, you can probably tell already from the buffs and debuffs that this particular playstyle might cater more towards melee builds, and depending on how low your meter is, it will significantly penalise commando builds. I mean, minus 300% hipfire and VATS accuracy, need I say more? But yeah, even if you're deciding that you want to roleplay as a ghoul, or even live out your Walter Goggins fantasy of being the ghoul from the Fallout TV show, you'll definitely need to take some time to consider if this playstyle is for you. But don't worry, as I said, we'll take a look at the perk cards shortly. But at the same time too, even if you decide not to completely lose your sanity and go completely feral, you can still manage to put together a viable enough build that you might already be used to that won't stray too far away from regular programming, just with the added benefits and spice of being a ghoul. And then finally, your second ability, known as Glow, which can be tracked by the green stripe pattern on your HP bar, will increase your maximum health and also heals damage you've taken, and will also help contribute to perks such as the Science Monster and Jaguar Speed perks. But how do I get said Glow? Well, by consuming that one thing that makes a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland so deadly. No, not the creatures and people that inhabit it, radiation. Similar to, and the ears of bloodied bills are about to perk up now, but similar to low health bills, the more radiation that you consume and tainted food that you digest, this will all contribute to your glow. So enjoy basking in the nuclear fallout, you Freddy Krueger looking monstrosities. See what I did there? I said the name of the game. As mentioned, once you transform into a ghoul, you'll unlock a brand new suite of ghoul perk cards, 30 to be exact, 28 regular perks and 2 legendary perks. Now, before we get into the perks, I want to give a shout out to Duchess Flame and Sugar Bomb Rads over on Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it, who put this incredible chart together which details everything to do with each of the perks in each of the special categories. And make sure to check out their website, which provides a comprehensive guide on every single feature of the Ghoul update, and probably explains it a lot better than I ever could, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. So yeah, go and show some support, because work like this definitely takes a lot of time to put together for us, the community, to benefit from. But as you can see in the strength category, we have Brick Wall. When your glow is high, it makes you immune to staggering attacks. Bone Shatterer, your melee weapon attacks have a 45% chance to cripple a limb. At level 1, 15%, at level 2, 30%. Radioactive Strength, expend a moderate amount of glow to deal 150% more damage with power attacks and bashing. Level 1, 50%, level 2, 100%. And then finally, Arms of Steel. Your sturdy arms allow you to reduce range weapon recoil, increasing accuracy by 30%. Level 1, 15%. In the perception category, we have Breathe It In. Rad resistance is reduced by 150. At level 1, 50, level 2, 100. Eye of the Hunter. Your vision grants you plus 30% accuracy in VATS from a very long distance. Level 1, 20%, level 2, 25%. Rad Reaver. Dealing non-automatic melee damage provides a small amount of glow. Glowing Hunter. Traces of glowing blood now have a 50% chance to appear on animal corpses. In Endurance, we have Radiation Power. Expend a small amount of glow per hit to deal 30% bonus damage to targets. At level 1, 10%, level 2, 15%. Chem Diet. Chems are 75% more effective at reducing how feral you are, and at level 1, 25%, at level 2, 50%. Glowing Gut. Irradiated food and drinks grants 300% more rads. Level 1, 100%, level 2, 200%. And then finally, Thick Skin. Your body now takes 10% less damage from ballistic attacks while not in power armor. Level 1, 3%, level 2, 6%. In the Charisma category, we have Glowing One. Holding large amounts of glow provides greater glow to nearby ghouls on your team. Moral Support. When on a team, you become feral 50% slower. Feral Presence. While feral, reduce your target's damage output by 30% after you attack for 5 seconds. Level 1, 15%. And then finally, United Ordeal. While in a team with another ghoul, you gain +3 to all special stats. Level 1, +1, level 2, +2. In Intelligence, we have Bomb Scientist. Expending glow makes your thrown grenades deal plus 50% damage. Level 1, 25%, level 2, 30%. Mad Scientist. Energy weapon, expend a small amount of glow per attack for 20% damage. Level 1, 10%, level 2, 15%. Science Monster. While you have glow, gain 15% bonus damage for 10 seconds upon getting hit. Level 1, 5%, level 2, 10%. Rad Specialist. Increase rad intake by 25% on armor and power armor, double if you're wearing a matching set. At level 1 15%, level 2 20%. Moving into agility, we've got Hyper Reflexes. When your glow is high, gain a 20% evasion chance, level 1 10%, level 2 15%, and that's while not wearing power armor. Gun Tricks, your enhanced reflexes allow you to reload weapons 30% faster. At level 1 10%, level 2 20%. Jaguar Speed, you now sprint 20% faster when your glow is high. At level 1 10%. And then finally, Action Ghoul. The power of glow makes your AP regenerate 45% faster. At level 1 15%, and then at level 2 30%. And then finally in the luck category we have Wild West Hands, 36% chance to instantly reload your entire magazine when empty. At level 1 12%, and then at level 2 24%. We have Glowing Criticals. When your glow is high, gain 50% bonus critical damage in VATS, level 1 20%, level 2 30%. Battle Genes, gain 4 HP per second while in combat. At level 1 that goes down to 2. And then finally Faulty Spots, weak point damage is increased by 15%. And then finally, taking a look at the two new legendary perks, we have Action Diet, and as you can see here, this is when it's fully maxed out. On kills, heal 8 HP and reduce how feral you are by 5%. And then we also have Feral Rage. When feral, all glow perk abilities cost 50% less glow. So overall, a lot of perks to work with, and definitely a lot of opportunities to create fun and exciting builds around, and I'm sure over time and through trial and error, there will be some go-to meta ghoul builds that a lot of people will work towards. And obviously, bear in mind that perk cards that revolve around Hunger, Thirst and the Chem Resistant perk will be locked, as ghouls don't actually require the benefits that those cards provide. But as I mentioned, this is where you will need to take the time to really analyze if these perks will work in your favor and benefit your playstyle. So definitely take a bit of time to consider your transformation. It's safe to say that with any new feature or update such as this, there's always going to be pros and cons. We all wish that there would just be pros, but unfortunately there are some cons, and some controversial cons, that kind of outweigh the pros of this update. Personally, and as I just said, this is my own personal opinion, and others might feel different about this, and that's okay. We're all entitled to our own opinions, and no one opinion is correct or wrong. But I was really hoping for this update to hit the ground running right out of the gate, but I feel going into this update, there's a lot of negativity and disappointment around some of the key features of this update. Now, don't get me wrong, I haven't even discussed or touched on some of the weapon balance changes that have come with this update, which from reading the patch notes all seem extremely positive, and I'm happy to see them. And of course, we'll discuss this at a later date. But focusing on the flagship piece of content of this update, the ghoul transformation part, there's definitely more downsides than positives. Yes, don't get me wrong, it's refreshing to have a brand new way to play the game, and all of these features and perks are fun and exciting to work with. But to start off with the least controversial part of this update, the ghoul disguise. So, as part of this update and when becoming a ghoul, and obviously in the Fallout universe, some factions aren't that happy to be doing business or even dealing with a ghoul at all. The ghouls of the Fallout world are definitely looked down on, and in order to combat this in Fallout 76, you'll need to wear a disguise made by Jay, or Yay, a new NPC, and I do apologise if I am mispronouncing that name, that you'll meet during the new questline, which will allow you to interact with any blocked content or storyline when living life as a ghoul. And then if you want to remove your disguise, it isn't as simple as opening up your Pip-Boy and removing the disguise. Nope, you'll have to travel back each time to Jay, who will allow you to remove the disguise if you so wish. Definitely a little bit tedious, and something that I feel could have been resolved by allowing players to just wear whatever disguise they wish to and then put back on again in their Pip-Boy. But obviously the development team wanted this character to be utilised as much as possible, and this is what we were left with. So it's good to note that if you're brand new to the game, it might be better working through the main storylines and quests of the base game and DLCs that are available first, before you go jumping in and rolling around at vats of radioactive waste, as you could potentially lock yourself out of some key storyline quests and potential rewards. This kind of leads me on to my next point, and probably the most controversial aspect of this update, but if you decide that living life as a ghoul is not for you, you can change back into your human form at any time, but only once. Yeah, that's right, this development decision is a one-way ticket as you won't be able to complete the questline to become a ghoul again. However, rest assured and prepare for another sprinkle of sarcasm, because Bethesda are back to help you again with that fork in the road, because for the low cost of 1,000 atoms or $10 or euro, you can purchase a retransformation token from the character screen, which is absolutely baffling to me when the coding to actually do this is there and could just be implemented into the game and maybe require fictional in-game currency to do so, rather than asking people to use real-life money to unlock a portion of the game again is just jarring. Now, don't get me wrong, I completely understand why they chose to do this. It makes sense. Well, it doesn't really make sense at all, but you have to look at it from this perspective. Let's say a brand new player creates a character, decides to boost their character all the way up to level 50 for $15. Then down the road, Bethesda decide to nerf ghoul builds. People like us make videos and complain about it, people in the community voice their complaints, and then Bethesda decide to buff ghoul builds again. But then let's say during that time the player decides to change back into human form because the build isn't viable anymore, but then ghoul builds suddenly get buffed again. Then they need to pay another $10 to change back, resulting in that person potentially investing $25 or euro or pounds or whatever into a single character. That's right, I can do math. I mean, people can do whatever they like when it comes to their money, but these development decisions and features right here are opening the gates to a very dark road, and Fallout 76 doesn't need this at all. To be honest, it really doesn't bother me who this offends or upsets, as I said, this was my honest opinion and review on the update, and I'm giving that. But this is criticism that needs to be listened to, because I'm not the only one who feels this way. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who don't care about this or don't feel this way at all, and that's totally fine. But I really don't believe there's any justification for implementing something like this when we have things like pre-made builds that boost our character up to level 25 when you leave the vault for the first time, and we have things like mutations in the game which we can purchase for a hefty sum of caps at the White Springs. And I get that mutations are different than changing the entire appearance of a character and providing access to new perks, but mutations are simple consumables that provide your character with buffs and debuffs and also abilities like jumping incredibly high up in the air and so forth. I mean, the team could have implemented something that could allow players to purchase for caps, bullion or stamps to keep us in the game for longer to grind for, because market research shows the longer a person is in the game, the more likely they are to purchase a microtransaction from your product. But unfortunately, this is the route that they chose, and personally it's disappointing to see. But let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments, as I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Now, aside from that, the update has brought a plethora of new bugs and issues, with some people reporting that upon becoming a ghoul, it crashes their game. Some people even mentioned that becoming a ghoul deleted their character. Yeah, definitely a nasty one, and hopefully one that can be resolved. And some reporting that entering the chamber where you become a ghoul completely bricked their character, not allowing them to leave or get out of the instance. But obviously, over time and with hotfixes that are rolled out, the team will hopefully fix this. But with any update for Fallout 76, it's to be expected that there will be bugs. On the other hand, I'm not trying to shit on this update. On the contrary, I've been excited for it since the announcement, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I'm excited to put together new builds for this, and generally, I'm just happy to see that we can finally change our race from human, because this was something that was teased to be a part of the game all the way back before it was released in 2018. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, and there's definitely some pros to this, some of which I've already actually mentioned, like a new way to play the game, new perk cards, and finally new legendary perks, new characters, and a new way to actually really think about your playstyle and how you approach all of the content that's already in the game, from vault raids, public events, and future content down the road. But feedback, regardless if it's not to your liking or appreciation, is feedback nonetheless, and needs to be taken into consideration for the longevity of your product. So understand this, the work done here is awesome, and the dedication to delivering quality updates to a product that back in 2018 was in a very bad state, to the point of no return, is a comeback story for the ages. So kudos to the team to turn this game around into what it is today. But the criticisms mentioned here today are important ones to help not turn the game into something that a lot of gamers turn their backs to and walk away from. So just some food for thought. However, that's everything for today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the Ghoul update and your opinions so far and what you like and dislike most about it. If you're new here and you found today's video informative, consider giving the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss out on future videos. To our channel members and subscribers, thank you for your continued support and helping the channel to grow. If you're picking up anything over on the Bethesda Gear Store and you'd like to support this channel, you can use my creator code BT76Ghoul until March 25th to receive 20% off of your entire purchase. Until next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, welcome to Vault 93, and I'll catch you all in the next video.